At the heart of this mission is the National Power Training Institute of Nigeria, NAPTIN, tasked with training, research, and developing the human capacity needed to address shortage of skilled workforce in the power sector. On the spot today, we'll examine NAPTIN's mandate and its capacity in driving Nigeria's power supply. I am Joseph Otam. Welcome to the program. Now, my guest is an electrical engineer and administrator with decades of experience in public and private sector. He has worked as manager, personnel and administration in charge of recruitment under the defunct National Electric Power Authority, NEPA, and now Power Holding Company of Nigeria, PCN. In 2013, he transferred his services to the National Power Training Institute, NAPTIN, as Deputy Director Training Program, and was elevated to the position of Director of Business Services. Thereafter, on the spot is the Director General, National Power Training Institute of Nigeria, NAPTIN, Ahmed Bolaji Nagode. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Right.
It's a privilege and honor to be here. But let me first of all correct, there's this impression that when I work in the power sector, I'm a technical man. I'm an engineer. I'm not an engineer.
Okay.
I'm an HR expert. I'm a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Management, but I'm a training expert, and all my career I've been involved in human capacity development. That's what justifies my being appointed, as the Director General of the National Power Training Institute of Nigeria, NAPTIN.
Okay, yeah, that's good. It's talking about there's human development, human capacity development there. That's what NAPTIN stands for, building, conducting research, and so on. Give us a broader insight on what this institute does.
Thank you very much, moderator. National Power Training Institute of Nigeria is an agency of the federal government of Nigeria under the Federal Ministry of Power. And NAPTIN is mandated to build human capacity in the power sector, that is, build existing human capacity in the power sector, and those who seek to build career in the power sector, to promote research and development in collaboration with our partners, largely tertiary institutions, polytechnics, universities, and our donors, the donor agencies who support, us in research, areas, largely as it affects, the power sector, especially in the renewable energy, sphere, which is the in thing, now. So NAPTIN came on board in 2009, inheriting the assets of the defunct monopoly of NEPA PHCN, the training assets of the defunct monopoly of NEPA PHCN. The power sector is a very, very interesting sector. It's a technical sector. It's a sector that from day one, it has human capacity component as part of its activities, because it's the focus. It's largely operation and maintenance of infrastructure. And when you operate and maintain infrastructure, you need capable hands. You need trained hands. You need competent hands, to handle equipment in order to protect life and property. And from the time of Ontario, from the time of Niger Dam, that's the first dam in Nigeria, the Ontario, that is, who came in, built the capacity component, of the sector. That is, we have the Professional Skills Training Center in Kanji, we have in Hafam, we have in Ugeli and others, where we have power stations. So the essence of the wisdom behind this is to make sure that as you operate and maintain power equipment, you also build on the skills of those who operate and maintain those equipment.
Yeah.
So NAPTIN inherited those assets, and with privatization, we are expected to build efficient, effective, workforce for the power sector, and that's what we have been trying to do.
Okay.
We are located in the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. We have 8 centers across the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria, and largely what we do is focus on technical skills development of existing staff of the power utilities, and also create room for those who seek to build career in the power sector to come in and be professionals by having professional courses which they will undertake before they can be allowed, to operate on the power, network.
Okay. Oh, that's an elaborate one. But when you talk about facilities, when you talk about institutes like this, you have many Nigerians question the capacity of such institute to provide that training, that needed training, because of what sometimes is the lack of equipment, or sometimes is the manpower of that for the to work in that particular institute.
Well,
can you proudly say that you have that capacity?
Well, I think without no doubt we have that capacity. I must seize the opportunity to thank the federal government of Nigeria for the investment that the government has made in the power sector, especially in human capacity development. We have infrastructure across all our centers, modern simulators. We have also other substations, whereby you can simulate, you can practice hands-on in terms of, the hands-on skill development exercise within the power sector. For instance, in Lagos, we have a complete power system simulator, which will take you from generation to transmission and distribution. I must say, with all sense of pride, that you hardly see that kind of equipment. I doubt very much if you have it even in West Africa. The only place we have seen that one is in is in New Delhi. That is National Power Training Institute of India. That's where I've seen something similar to that. But of recent, we've just commissioned 104-bed hostel and another complex of 5 workshops where we have training in generic, power system, generation, transmission, distribution, and also in renewable, energy. So we have modern facilities to make it possible for us to train young Nigerians in the area of power, skills. And not only that, we have faculty, world-class faculty that can hold its own anywhere in the world. As I speak to you, we have our instructors even training staff of other power utilities within the African continent, even in Portuguese-speaking countries, because we are Center of Excellence under Association of Power Utilities of Africa. That's the consortium, of all power utilities in Africa, and we are under a project, African Network Center of Excellence in Electricity, ANSI. Under that program, we have trained more than 1,000 skilled workforce within the public utilities of Africa, right from Malawi, Mozambique, Angola, Zimbabwe. We have a training contract presently where we're training about 450. We have started with Eswatini, that's the former Swaziland, and they're with us as I'm talking to you. They are in our campus, at Idu, undergoing training. We've just graduated last week a set of another power sector human capacity, human capital, from Eswatini as well. So we're starting next week with Malawi and Zimbabwe. So the reason why we can be allowed to do that is because we have state-of-the-art infrastructure. Okay. We also have faculty that can deliver, and we also have curriculum. That is the curricula in all various aspects of power training. But what we do, which I think I must also give credit to Nigerian government, I'm very proud of my country, is whenever we have a collaboration with the developed economies on power sector, development, the human capacity component has always been injected. For instance, when we have the Nigeria Energy Support, program, that is NESP, a bilateral agreement between Nigeria and Germany, there is a human capacity component that made it possible for NAPTIN to be developed as a leading human capacity trainer in renewable energy. And we have 4 different.
Is it within the African region? Or?
Yes. No, yes, we're leading, within West African, sub-region.
Okay.
But at least we've taken it, beyond that one, because we have 4 components which they came in and supported us: solar PV installation and supervision, solar PV supervision, solar PV installation and maintenance. That's one. Solar PV supervision, mini grid, design and implementation, energy efficiency. So all those 4 critical areas, the German government, through GIZ, built world-class infrastructure for us to carry out, simulation and also hands-on, training.
Okay, I want you to continue
and also develop curricula in all those 4 areas, and also developed our instructors, that's our facilitators. In fact, they were then taken to Germany for pedagogical, training. So all those 3 components, infrastructure, curriculum, and, also faculty, we have, state-of-the-art, both resources, human capital, and also infrastructure, to handle, all those.
And the facilitators, the trainers, and so on, top-notch.
Exactly. And that's why International Finance Corporation in 2018 came in to have an agreement with NAPTIN to train about 200 young Nigerians in the area of renewable energy in all those 3 areas, that's solar PV installation and maintenance, supervision, and also mini-grid. And since that time, we have been training young Nigerians because we believe the renewable energy is the future of energy, and that's where we need to build, capacity, human capacity, to also generate jobs for young, Nigerians, and also have some level of social inclusion by giving attention, to women and also the physically challenged.
Okay, we delve into the alternative power sources there. Give us an example. There's this clamor for alternative power sources. Give us what are the innovations coming out from there?
Well, I think that's the best way. That's the way to go, because the renewable energy space is now, looking at the issue of climate, looking at the issue of also taking care of, environment in terms of reducing emission, fossil, emission. And, Nigeria has already taken a leading, position within that very space. I know very well that we have a vision, vision 30, to have, 30%, of our energy drive, being driven by renewable energy. We're on course on that. If you look at what Rural Electrification Agency is doing, we are collaborating with Rural Electrification Agency to really drive, that very particular project. We have renewable energy, solar PV all over the place, now. And there's been a lot of reforms, even in the laws, that drive, this, process to make sure that even mini grid have been upgraded in terms of the number of megawatts, that can, be, generated, which is a very good thing, because the Electricity Act of 2023 has also helped. That's one legislative, master stroke, that also helped, in ensuring that we meet up, with our vision, with, our target, on alternative, energy source. That's the energy transition, yes.
It's all right. We still have much to say, but we'll take a break now so that you also have a little breather for continuing.
All right. Thank you.
Stay with us as we go for this short break.
Okay. What I advise you to do, you can edit the first one so that maybe I can take it again. That's my introduction.
Yeah, I'll do
So
that.
you know,
Immediately we
I will
finish,
just
we'll
do
do that. No problem. All right, welcome back to On the Spot. We are discussing Nigeria power sector, building capacity of the skilled workforce. And the Director General of NAPTIN is here with us. You were talking about renewable energy, that's alternative source of power. Let's go to the skilled workforce itself now. One thing this present administration is keen on is bridging the unemployment gap.
Yes.
Where is nothing here regarding the training and creating the job opportunities?
Thank you. I must commend Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for his visionary leadership. I must say this, with the renewed hope agenda. When you look at the renewed agenda and you look at economic growth and job creation, it's very, very instructive to us, as a training institute, because we deliberately, we've decided to align strategically with the economic growth and job creation agenda of Mr. President to identify critical job skills areas within the power sector that we can leverage on. And we have identified 3 critical areas: solar PV installation and maintenance. There is a big job potential in solar PV installation and maintenance, because that's the alternative source of energy, and as I said, it's the future of energy. So we're building human capacity in that very critical area. As I speak with you, we've trained more than 2,000 young Nigerians in this very critical renewable energy space. And we're working with all our partners, NCDMB. We have a contract with NCDMB presently to train about 200 young Nigerians across the 6 geopolitical zones in the area of solar PV installation and maintenance. That is one area where we can grow jobs, where we can take people off the street, where we can create self-employment and entrepreneurship. We are really focusing on that one, and we have equipment across our 6 centers to really make sure that we carry out that very objective. So NCDMB must be commended for building local content, and this is the way we can satisfy local content. Second, the electrical installation. That's another critical area: industrial, domestic. We have buildings coming up, and we need to really skill up our young Nigerians to be able to take jobs in that very critical sector. We have courses in electrical installation where we train. We work also with NCDMB. We work with other private organizations to bring in young Nigerians to train. In the area of solar PV, we're working with REA. We have a program, as I speak with that, we have about 100 trainees in our campus, training. We call it RESCO. That is the training the next generation, of leaders. And that's a very, very, laudable, program that, we are driving with REA to train young Nigerians. By the time they are done with that program, they will have, the capacity to install, solar, and they will be, they will have the capacity to form cooperatives, to be self-employed, and to become, entrepreneurs. The third one has to do in the area of metering. We have identified metering. We know very well where we have a gap, meter gap, in the power sector, to really ensure that we're closing that gap. The government, I must commend the Honorable Minister of Power, and the federal government working assiduously to closing that gap. So the capacity, human capacity component, of that very scheme, we are now driving with Presidential Metering Initiative, PMI. We're training 4,000 young Nigerians in that very critical, subsector. And by the time we're done with that training, what it means is that 4,000 jobs will be created. That is from day one. But the kind of effect, the ripple effect, that will come with that one. So definitely subsequent, development will bring in more jobs, within that very sector. So we've already signed a contract with PMI, and we're about, starting, the training. Very soon, we're going to open our portal, and young Nigerians can, have the access, to the portal, and then, get trained in the area of Mitra installation.
Okay, you talked about this. A lot of people now, when listening to you, will find whatever product you bring out there worthy.
Yes.
Yeah, but there could be conflict in terms of, we're talking electrical engineering here too. Electrical engineering.
Yes.
Don't you think there could be a slight conflict between those who read electrical engineering in other places and the products you produce out there? Where's this acceptability that this particular certificate coming from the institute is highly valid?
Okay, I think that's very, very important. When you train, we have a principle within, the human capacity environment, capacity development environment, that when you train, you don't issue certificates. There must be an independent body to issue, certificate. We have awarding bodies, and presently, NAPTIN is the Power Sector Skills Council. We have National Council on Skills, and for the power sector, NAPTIN has been mandated, has been licensed, to handle Sector Skills Council for the power, sector. So with this arrangement, we're working with NEMSA. That is the Nigeria Electricity Supply Management Agency. That's NEMSA. Yeah. And, they are mandated, to uphold standard, and also to ensure, some stability in terms of, products that are injected into the market, power products, and also as a regulatory body, they are expected, to monitor, even standard of human capacity that will go and, work on, that very network. So we have a collaboration with NEMSA to issue a certificate that's for the local, consumption. But we also develop collaboration with international organizations, so that those who we train, we issue our certificates, but those who we train can work outside Nigeria.
Everywhere.
And that's what we are really working, on, to ensure geographical, labor mobility, whereby if you're trained by NAPTIN, you can go to Ghana to work, you present your certificate. What matters is your level of competence. What matters is those modules.
That's what I wanted to ask.
Exactly.
Do you get feedback from your products?
Exactly. Because, we do normal, we do alumni, engagement. Recently, we tried to really get the feedback, from the market. And that is the industry, because definitely our training must have industry linkage. Those who we produce for, the industry. We produce for the existing power utilities. We also produce for those who have power infrastructure, to make sure that, and the feedback we're getting, that our products have, be very outstanding. That's those who we train, both in maybe distribution companies, generation companies, transmission companies, that the leading, technical staff, in their various organizations. I know very well that IBEDC, we've been collaborating with IBEDC. Some of our graduates have gone into IBEDC, and they're holding leading positions there, because we have a program whereby, we train electrical and mechanical engineers, fresh graduates, for them to have skills that will make it possible for them to work, in the power sector. And that very particular program, we normally call it, before now, pupillage program. And that pupillage program, takes you, through all the technical skills that you require for you. It bridges the gap between academic qualification and the skills required to operate on the power network. So those who have undergone, that program, by the time they are done, they are real full professionals in their areas, and they make impact, on the field. And the feedback we're getting is that that's the way to go. And I must seize the opportunity to talk, on the initiative of the Honorable Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, whose visionary leadership has reintroduced, that very particular program to stem, the shortage, of, professional skills, staff within the power sector. The Honorable Minister has given approval for us to train 100 professional, engineers at a time. So what that vision, shows is that in the next 10 years, we're going to have over 1,000 professional skilled engineers within the sector.
Right.
So that's a very good program, and I think NAPTEN is leading the efforts on that. Yes.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Building that capacity for the power workforce. Okay. Okay. Let me just ask you one thing. You spoke about this. The government have been carrying out a lot of skills acquisition programs. Every day we hear skills acquisition program. With what you have said, especially in this area of building the power sector, are you engaging most of these government agencies in terms of collaborating with them to give them these experts resource persons?
Let me go back again to talk about the initiative of the government, and I think that's the way to go. Government is focused on skills development. And as I said, earlier, if you link it to the economic growth and job creation of the new agenda of Mr. President, it's a very laudable program, I must say. Because when you look at what NBT and the Federal Ministry of Education, the two, that's an agency, and also the federal, what they are doing, presently with the TVET initiative. And under this TVET initiative, NAPTEN is working, with the Federal Ministry of Education to train young Nigerians to acquire skills. So those skills that are related to the power sector in electrical installation, we are working, with the Federal Ministry of Education to make sure that our centers, train young Nigerians across the 6 geopolitical zones. We're talking about creating new jobs, thousands of jobs. And this, we're not joking with this, because this is the only way we can support government in the job, employment, the drive. Because one thing I've always said is that the white collar job is no longer there. It's like a pyramid. The upper you go, the thinner it becomes.
Yeah.
And we need to face, reality that we need to do hands-on. We need to get, train young Nigerians to be able to do one skill or the other in order to earn a living. If you are in the power sector, or you want to look around the power sector, if you train as an installer, meter installer, or you train, as a solar PV installer, you can become an entrepreneur. You can be on your own, install meters, all over, and make money for yourself, make money for your family, make money, for the community. So that's the way you grow, jobs. And if you look at, our demography, that's, if you look at the population, we need to leverage on that, because we need to leverage on the fact that even those who want to go out of the country, they should be skilled, so that by the time they get in there, they will earn foreign exchange and then bring it back, to Nigeria. So the government is doing a lot in that very field. The National Council on Skills, headed by the Vice President, is they are working to ensure that we build skills of young Nigerians and make sure that we provide jobs within that very sector. And I think if we can carefully and patiently work on all the various projects that are on for now, Nigeria will be better for it.
All right. Thank you so much. Nigeria will be better for it. Thank you so much, Director General, National Power Training Institute, NAPTEN, Ahmed Bolaji Nagode. Thank you. Nagode.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here. I feel highly honored and privileged to be here.
Yeah, we do appreciate it. All right. All right. Thank you too for watching. I'll see you next time on The Spot. Goodbye. Okay, so hold on to us. Hold on a little bit. Let's do a little correction here before we go.
Yes, exactly. Just Ahmed Bolaji Nagode. So you can do the introduction again.
Okay, there's a menu. Okay, we'll move this.
Yes, okay, yes, that's all. Yes.
I guess an administrator, and there's something you said about power.
So you can equally. I can even answer the question all over again. You can.
No, don't worry. We'll just introduce.
Okay. So where I made the correction, you can just omit.
Something
you can
you told
edit
me
it.
about human resource manager. Hmm?
Yes, I'm human resource.
Is a human resource manager.
You can put fellows.
And administrator.
Okay, you can put it. You can leave it out.
That fellow, that one no problem. During when you were, I can just leave that one.
Okay, that's right. Yes, you can leave it.
That's just okay. Yeah, bring back his introduction. It's not there now. No, his own profile.
Then I didn't want to correct it. Sorry, I didn't want to correct it. The 4,500 is not good. We have outgrown that one.
Okay.
We generate averagely 5,000.
Okay, stop. Okay,
and that's the peak. Is unprecedented. So there's a need. Because it's NTA. Okay. So for governments, something we generate averagely more than 5,000. And that's the highest peak wherever in the country. So.
Okay, just stay so that we. No, stay now. Stay. Where are you going to?
The question that is telling you.
Forget about that one. We'll just go. We don't have time. Just go. I'll do that during the editing.
Just edit it.
Okay. Now, my guest is a human resource manager and administrator with decades of experience in public and private sector. He has worked as manager, personnel and administration in charge of recruitment under the defunct National Electric Power Authority, NEPA, now Power Holding Company of Nigeria, PHCN. In 2013, he transferred his services to the National Power Training Institute, NAPTIN, as Deputy Director, Training Programs, and was elevated to the position of Director, Business Services. Thereafter, on the spot is the Director General, National Power Training Institute, NAPTIN, Ahmed Bolaji Nagode. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's all right. I think that's it.
Okay.
So the rest.